And welcome.
I'm glad you.
How we start these things.
Yeah. And, well, last week we started with Grandma basically having a heart attack on camera because Connor's
clapping. That's what she said.
Yeah. But it was funny, man. It was.
She's like, I got to tell you a story. I got to tell you on Connor. He about gave me a heart attack. She didn't say about. She said he gave her a heart attack. And I was thinking, you recovered pretty well, Granny.
She's laughing throughout the whole video. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, everybody else saw it too. But it's like even on our vlog where she was just going and ratting on to everybody about you if you're homeless, like not getting into
because of my hat. They wouldn't let me in the FFA convention. Luckily, there was that security guard that knew me.
Yeah.
He came and chased me down and make sure it was me because the other guys were like, I don't know, this homeless guy's trying to get in over here at the convention center.
It's just so funny. We haven't got to see you since then. This is our first day to get to film together in almost probably 3 weeks because we had the convention a couple weeks ago, and that was our only time we've been together. So, and like honestly, I can tell the people too. It's like it's kind of hard when we get these days because it's like we're trying to get so much in and then get and add this at the end of it because we haven't got to have one of these in a while with you. And man, sometimes
I have a lot to say. Okay,
no, I'm just kidding. You do, but I think it's okay. I think this is a great point for us to finally say like, hey, because we were just talking about today. You've been busy here lately too. You just closed on a house, got a new house. Congratulations,
man! It's been a long 2 weeks.
Man,
I'm still settling in. I've got a garage full of boxes to unpack.
So you've moved, but you're not moved in yet.
Yeah, it might. Hopefully, my wife, she's a teacher. She just finished school year, so hopefully we can start. I told her I wanted to do a box and like do a thing around the house every day.
Yeah, just tackle it one. Yeah. It's like eating an elephant.
Yeah, one bite at
a time. And that's, man, honestly, that's like we were talking about our readings and stuff. We both like to read, and we've all gotten behind on our reading here lately just because of life, everything going on. And I think this is a good point to bring up. Like, we all struggle.
Yeah,
we all have moments where
I was telling you earlier. I haven't been doing good at my Bible reading these last 2 weeks.
It's hard when life come get you. It's like you get off track. You can get like, man, and that's how I feel like energy wise too. And I think it's all. And this is the one thing the internet doesn't do a really good job of. Or when people do it, it's like so depressing. They're like, life's hard, and it's like life's hard.
Yeah,
but it's like life's also great.
It is.
You know, and like that.
It's short, man.
It is so short. So why? It's like, man, we're having a struggle. We only got like 3 or 4 videos shot today between wind and heat. It's like 95 degrees a day. We have so much to do.
Wait on hay baler to come by.
Yeah. Also, it's been raining, so like we've been able to cut and bale the hay, and so now we're also while we're in a hayfield trying to get these shots for a video that we're doing. We also have my dad and my uncle running the baler and the rake at the same time. It's just like, it's almost comical, but it's also the reality of like when you film on a farm.
Yeah. Work still has farm stuff has to get done.
It doesn't stop either.
Yeah.
Just like we have to get these videos done because it's the only day we get together. So I just want to tell people, like, we struggle.
Oh, yeah.
We're not perfect human beings. We go through all this stuff, and in our own personal lives, we got a lot going on. I got to go to a wedding in El Paso next weekend.
Yeah.
It's or this weekend. it's and then the next weekend we're busy. Like we're not gonna be together again. So it's like it's just crazy. But at the end of the day, it's also a massive blessing to be busy.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, I could not just like sit around in my house and do nothing.
How depressing does that life got to be?
Yeah, like
it's nice to have a day, right? A day's nice.
Yeah, like you need a break. Like,
yes.
God rested on the 7th day.
Yeah.
We deserve to rest at least one day a week.
Except for Connor.
Yeah, Connor doesn't get to rest. He's got to edit these.
Yeah, Connor works. Connor works 24/7, 365. We're just kidding. I've been giving Connor days off.
Raise, man.
I've been giving Connor's days off. I've been making him take days. I'm like, take this Wednesday off. Why? I'm like, because we're about to work for 6 days straight. So it's man, but it's a blessing. And my mom shared this with me the other day because it was really, and it was a good reminder because it also reminded me of Grandma Kay, Granny, to all you all out there. But my mom shared this, and it was a really good little reminder. And it's a person, what I love, I know we'll have Connor flash this up on the screen, but it's you can see an old tractor, old farmer, and a dog. Yeah. And it says, the happiest people don't have the best of everything. They just make the best of everything they have.
That's true.
And Mom's like, this reminds me of Grandma Kay. And it is so true, because she's never, ever, barely do we ever get her, see her mad about anything. If she's mad, it's for a brief moment, and then she's on.
Yeah, she finds something else.
And life's so good. And she's the best reminder, I think, for us throughout this rat race, what we do through internet stuff to business stuff to the meat stuff, is that the reminder of her, like her perspective is like, hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. And that's at the end of the day.
Every day and every second of every day.
And it goes back to that point, like, hey, we're all going to struggle, but even in the struggle, within the chase of life or whatever it is, there's beauty. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a J. Cole quote or something. It's like, there's beauty in the struggle, right? Yeah. Did I just quote a rap song on our Pasture Conversation?
People are going to be like, how dare you?
Hey, might be a good song. I can't even remember what song I do.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I do.
I think there may be a profanity at the end of that sentence too.
Likely,
but
yes.
But there is beauty in the struggle.
It's true. And the struggle, like the struggle that we're going through and the things that we do, it's a good thing. Like we were talking about at the FFA convention the other day, we were wore out. But it was a good cause. We had people in line all day wanting to see us.
Yeah.
It was very tiring, but it was definitely worth it to get to shake all those hands and meet all the kids and the parents and grandparents that we got to meet.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very tiring those 2 days. I'm sure it was on Granny too.
Yeah, and honestly,
it was worth it.
That's what we were talking. We were driving on the way home. We were all talking about it. We were like, man, this is exhausting. Because we also had in between, we went to a concert because our buddy Wyatt Flores was playing, and we wanted to go see him, say hi to him, say hi to his family, his sister. And so from the whole day being on our feet, got dressed, ate, went to the concert, did that for another till midnight, and then went and did that whole day again. And we were reminded, like, man, we're tired, and you had to break down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
we
get
had
everything,
to put all our stuff up after standing there all day.
And then you're on the road, and it's like 6 o'clock at night. We're like, what was the last 36 hours?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
it flew by.
But at the end of the day, it's like, God, what a blessing it is. And then the reminder in those days too, when we had multiple kids come up to us who had either, ailments in their life, you could tell, whether it was handicapped to, had other things going on, you could tell, or even like the young lady who said her videos she went home, she was severely depressed.
Oh yeah.
And she went home and she put on her videos and we pulled her out of her depression.
Yeah.
And it's just like
those little goofy videos.
Little reminders, man. It's just like, it makes our struggle, no matter what's our personal lives or this internet life that we've created for ourselves, it is the greatest honor, I think.
Something tried to go up my nose.
I think it was a bee.
Yeah.
The greatest honor in my life, I think, is what this thing we've been given. And I know we have a lot of life left, but it's a great honor what we have, man.
Yeah, we've been able to touch so many lives, so many people out there that, I mean, I never would have thought something like this, especially the way we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unconventional to the way things have always been done in the past.
Yeah.
And I think, so everybody's been talking about that Harrison Butker speech he gave the other day at that college, and they've been dogging him for pretty much just speaking Christian values.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we've always tried to do through the things, especially with our talks and stuff, and not had that fear. And something like whenever all the parents and stuff come up to us, how many people do you think came up and told us that this is like what we're doing right here, and being able to just put our belief in Christ on our sleeve and not hide that? You know?
That was probably the biggest compliment we got throughout the entire convention, and it's one I get a lot of messages from, and thank you all for the messages, personal messages we get on that. It's like, just so proud to support or be behind you, watch all those videos. Even when people buy meat or merch from us, it's the same. We get the message, love what y'all are doing. And man, sometimes we forget about that. I forget about it. Like when you're going when you don't take it day by day, when you just like look at the whole thing, you're like, man, why is our TikTok videos down? Or like, why? But then you go, man, at the end of the day, that's not where to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously you got to analyze all that stuff, but where you should look for the blessings in it all is like, whether it's one view or if it's 100,000 or 1,000,000 views, at the end of the day, we are so honored and I feel super, super privileged to be able to do what we're doing and call this work. And it is work. Like, a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of work that goes into all this, and that's okay. Yeah. But to me, it's like, when you love what you're doing, loving doing all this, and loving getting to be out in our family's way of life, way we've all, like, it is, I don't ever feel like I'm working.
Yeah, when you love what you do, they say you never work a day in your life.
And you're exhausted, like we were saying. We were exhausted on our feet that day. But at at the end of the day, it also went by like that.
Yeah.
We're like, what just happened? You know?
It was like a blur.
It was.
Really. Like, and when I'm in the moment, I'm like, man, I gotta pee.
And then all of a sudden, 6 hours later, man, I gotta pee. How long has it been? It's over? What happened?
You look down, I got a wet spot on my pants. Luckily, that didn't happen.
Yeah. And
I made it to the bathroom, okay?
The number 2 thing we kept getting from people, this is the number 2 thing we got from most people, was, hey, we're like, be careful, I don't see any blue hairs. And like, you know, I was like, don't worry, we got beef on like the side. That was another little thing.
Yeah, I kept having to eat some like beef jerky sticks because I didn't really get a lunch break.
Yeah, we didn't get
a break.
I think I drank if I was like, I'm thirsty. We haven't had a water, and I'm like, but I'm also in energy. I was like, Dad, hand me one of those energy
keep
drinks.
Going.
So I guess what I want to ask you about is kind of accumulation of that, and a mixture of that along with everything that's been going on in your personal life with the house, summertime, all that. For you, if you look back on the last 4 years of everything we're doing, what would you say is not the coolest, but what was the thing that you'd love to say? Not even, you can be proud. There's a difference between like proudfulness and prideness in the Bible. There's 2 different types of pride. But what would you say your probably most favorite part of the last 4 years through all this we've done, mixed with like the personal life, what it's been able to do in your personal life? What would you say is the proudest moment of all this for you? And I know we touched on like those moments with the people we meet personally, or but for you, what would you say is the proudest moment of all of this accumulated together? Would you say is your favorite?
I would say it's like meeting people in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
Because like in a place like that, people are coming to you.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, people are coming and they want to take a picture and shake your hand and get you to sign something. But I think it's like meeting somebody, they just like run into you. So, I mean, a lot of people know I'm a UPS driver. Yeah. I think about half of Western Oklahoma knows that I'm Gate Bart by now. I'll tell you, the other day I was delivering and sealing, and I pull up to this house out in the country, and this lady's out there gardening, and she comes up to get her package, and she, Gate Bart? And she's like just shocked to see me, and we took a selfie together. It's like just stuff like that, and then she was just so thankful for the stuff that we do, and especially like having our faith and everything. Mm-hmm. And just whenever people reach out to you and just let you know that what we're doing here means something to them, that just gives you the fuel to keep going. Yeah. Honestly,
that is.
Because online, we can get all the comments we want, and it's not the same.
It also doesn't feel real.
Coming from somebody face to face.
It's like when, like today, Grandma hit, or in the past like week or whatever, she's hit over 700,000 Instagram followers, and this is like the greatest thing about Granny. Grandma, you hit 700,000 Instagram followers. She goes, oh, nice. Yeah.
She just like
because
going.
Like what at the end of the day, it's like all that stuff is so superficial, and it is.
It doesn't mean much to her.
It doesn't mean it doesn't, but in reality, it doesn't mean much in general anyway. But when you get to the true reality, when you get to meet people, and when you get to have a one-on-one, that's what I love about what we do. Is like people say, what's different? The kids tell us all the time what's different versus everyone else who do what you all do. Is that you guys take the time to like meet us, get to know us. And you're not trying to rush, take a photo and like see y'all and go buy some merch from us.
Like, go buy some merch, get out of here.
They and that's why people will wait in line. And it's like you really don't think about that. I don't think about that a lot. No. Like while we're doing it, I'm just like genuinely.
Like that's just how you should approach.
That's how you should approach everybody.
Because some people that might be the only time they ever get to meet you.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them. We have a lot of repeat offenders.
Yeah.
We've had like Ben. Had some kids that we've known for a few years
Benjamin Bell, Hudson from Purcell. Yeah. Him and now his little brother's coming around.
And we've had all those group of boys.
The Valiant Boys. Kaysen, Hazen, all those guys. Yeah.
But then we have some people that,
newbies.
I mean, that might be their only time that they get to see us.
Yeah. And
so you want to give every person that, I'm going to say, personable experience, because that's just how we were raised. And that's what.
So the Bible
come from the Bible.
That's what the Bible teaches us to be, though, and that's where it was a good reminder this week. I had a guy who comes and like sprays around our house and stuff.
Yeah,
he's awesome, really good at his job. He killed the ants one time, never came back, and he was talking to me. He's like, life's changed since he's found the Lord again,
really?
And you could tell he's a hardworking guy, and he's like, everywhere I go, he's like, I always wanted to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he goes, but then I started becoming the Arnold Schwarzenegger of my own life, and that's when my life changed. Instead of trying to like be like him, I became him in my life. And that reminded me of that speech I gave a couple weeks ago. I was like, be the hero of your own story.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's like, I just try to live every day like there's this drone flying behind me, watching everything I do. And everyone I know and love is watching everything I do, and I just try to live every moment like that. And not, he's like, not in a sense of fear, but just knowing like, hey, people who admire you and look up to you are it's like that's on you. And he's like, I wear that with pride.
Yeah, just think like if somebody were to be watching you all the time, and as a Christian, somebody is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was getting at, is like that figurative drone was God and what he was saying too. And I loved that, because I remember that my old football coach always being like, would you do that? Would you act that way if your parents were standing right here in front of them? Would you do that rep that way? Would you do that, if your dad was standing right here? And I always loved that analogy, because like the person you respected most in your life is standing right there. Would you do that? And how would you perform it? And it's a good reminder, like when you go to the gym, when you're just doing your own work, when you're cleaning your house, anything, like living life that way.
Like, are you going to cut corners, or are you going to do it the right way?
And that's how we should all live and that's where ultimately it's like, that's how we should live every day, knowing that with God.
Yeah.
And I'm getting better about it, and becoming a father's done that to me, becoming a business owner's done that to me. But also the responsibility of knowing like, hey, there's a lot more than just like even my own family weighing on things. It's like your family, Connor's family. A lot of that for me is like, that made me, I've had to get really more in touch with my spiritual side, because at the end of the day, when that starts lining up right, everything else starts lining up right. And that was my perspective with Joe this week. Joe gave me some really good perspective, and I already had it, but it was a good reminder from Joe. And I loved that. So it was when I was thinking about the struggle this week with my fence blowing down, all that stuff. Yeah. We all have our own stuff, but at the end of the day, there's beauty in the struggle.
Yeah.
Well, do we have a verse? Do we have a verse for that? All right.
It's kind of appropriate for the situation.
Is it kind of?
From Psalms.
Okay.
Psalm 34. I prayed to the Lord, and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears.
So what do you take what King Solomon's saying there?
Well, like a lot of us have fears, especially in some of the stuff we've been doing. We've stepped out on a limb to be so open about our faith.
Yeah.
And we just have to rely on God. Like you said, there's beauty in the struggle. Well, we're going through the struggle as it is. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we can't see it because we're so, what is that saying? You can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're hacking at trees and we can't see the forest.
Yeah, but just knowing that you're on the not being so knowing that you're on his path, it's all going to take care of itself in the end.
Yeah, knowing God has you, and to not be fearful, because he's freed us from that fear. Yep. Even though sometimes the devil tries to trick you and bring that fear back into your life, you have to fall back like I need to, because I've gotten away from my reading and my praying and stuff that I was doing. I was real good for about 4.5, 5 months there. Yeah. And I got to get back into it.
Well, and it's all, I always think, when you think of fear and all that, I think of Job. He got tested. Like so many people get tested in the Bible, but Job's knowing that he got how he got tested. That dude, you want to talk about fear?
Yeah.
He said, "I trust God," and it's a good reminder, because, man, even like when we get busy with all this stuff, it's like, are we doing the right thing? Are we? Yeah. Gosh, dang. We have still waiting on those payments from all those companies, like on things. They owe us a lot of money still. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's like, just trust God. Yep. Know that you're on his mission, and know he's there with you through the struggle and through the good times.
Yeah, it's the best thing you can do.
That's a good one, cuz. All right, well, until next time, God bless y'all.